Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where my wife just left for lunch, so my dog is probably going to be a problem during this entire recording because he has separation anxiety due to COVID and us never leaving the apartment during that time. I mean, it's partly our fault, but mostly COVID's fault. Today we are covering Action Comics number 37, Clark Kent, Police Commissioner, a story that kind of had a structure to begin with. It at least set something up for the first third to half of the comic, and then just utterly loses focus in whatever it was trying to do and does something completely different that doesn't seem to actually come together in the climax to really be much of a connected story in a way. You'll understand what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm not very good with words. Why am I even doing this if I'm not a very articulate speaker? In Action Comics number 37, Clark Kent is still upset about, the whole gambling thing that he's dealt with twice. Though my assumption is every time he gets rid of gambling in Metropolis, he just creates a massive power vacuum because you can't just get rid of these things. People still want to do them. And the mob will come in because there is money to be had. So Clark Kent convinces Perry White and all the other newspapers to start up like an editorial crusade against gambling. This gains enough attention that Mayor Garson fires the corrupt police commissioner who is on the take. The commissioner was on the take the first time, and the mayor was on the take. Well, the mayor wasn't on the take on the second gambling corruption story, but he was involved. This isn't the same mayor. Like all the other politicians and DAs and everything else in Metropolis, they seem to change constantly because no one seems to be keeping track of who these people are. So with him fired, a new commissioner takes his place. This is where it gets kind of funny in a, killing sort of way. But we go through three police commissioners right away. The first one is gunned down, the second one explodes. The third one picks up a briefcase meant for the mayor that ends up holding an explosive, so he gets blown up too. The mayor, pretty much done with all this, makes Clark Kent the commissioner because, this is all kind of his fault to begin with. I mean, everything was kind of fine before. Yeah, there was gambling and the commissioner wasn't doing anything about it. But so far, it's gambling. Unless people are dying or some other massive problems being caused by it, just let people gamble. I mean, I don't like gambling, but I'm not going to tell people not to gamble. I just kind of enjoy this is all well, you caused this. This is your problem to fix. Clark doesn't want to be police commissioner. He's not even qualified to be the police commissioner. But Lois really likes this idea, and there's nothing he can really do at this point. This is where the comic starts falling apart because we have a great buildup of we can't do anything to protect these police commissioners, like they're the defense against the dark arts teacher. Not even Clark has enough sense to try to follow them and make sure the new one doesn't get killed each time, or do any kind of investigating at all. He usually does investigating in these types of stories and finds who's responsible. Probably a mob boss. I mean, very likely a mob boss. But he's pretty fine with allowing this to happen. And there is a huge problem with Clark in this story. I'll get to that almost right now. Lois just thinks Clark needs confidence, so she gets a friend of hers named Butch. Yes, we have a third Butch in Superman comics to join my eventual story about an evil league of Butches that fought Superman at some point who come together to kill him. I swear I will write this story one day. DC will not publish it, but I will write this story one day. So Clark kind of knows about it. When he walks out, he allows this guy to attack him, kind of going along with the whole ruse, except it's not Butch, it's an actual mobster trying to kill him, which he doesn't figure out for a while, even though this guy is really trying to strangle him. Even with his powers, you would think he would pick up on how intense this attack on him is. Eventually, Lois is able to get across that this isn't Butch, and he pretends to accidentally headbutt him to knock him out. As he gets up, another man comes up to him, and he just punches him out. This turns out to be actual Butch. So this Butch has a reason to hate at least Clark Kent, not Superman. There's been a surprisingly lack of Superman so far. But Clark is surprisingly dumb in this comic. Shockingly. We sort of see him at the police station. Well, we see him at the police station. We just never see him do any police commissioning in the story called Clark Kent, Police Commissioner. In fact, this seems like a waste of that title and premise. There isn't any police commissioning happening or him actually running anything to do with the police. He's just at the station at one point and tries to sneak away. Officer Casey, who is a foil for Superman, doesn't trust Clark Kent, so he sends another officer to follow him. Clark is able to escape from him pretty quickly because, yeah, he's Superman. This is when a car plows through the police station. Apparently, the drivers were involved with a robbery of the jewelry exchange and decided to drive through the police station. This is finished pretty quickly because Clark finally becomes Superman, bright blue costume, red cape, and just rams into the car, knocking kind of everybody out. Well, the guy gets out and he stops him. The person responsible for everything, or at least how we're supposed to expect, the random happenstance of a jewelry robbery and all the killings of the commissioner, is these two things. There's not a really good wrap up to this. This is what I mean by it being kind of a mess and hardly held together. Turns out it was former police commissioner Kennedy the whole time. We could have actually revealed this earlier and had like a whole story about him having like a motive and characterization. But no, something just kind of happens. We stop and like, old man withers, like a Scooby-Doo story, except Scooby-Doo gave more motive and reasoning and character work to the villain than this issue of Superman. Well, Action Comics. So with that all done, Clark quits, even though Lois doesn't want him to, because I think Lois has a thing for Clark Kent as a police commissioner. And I guess they find a police commissioner that gets to stay on and maybe isn't corrupt. I'm sure the next time we see a police commissioner, he's probably corrupt in this series. Yeah, but like I said, the first half barely goes with the second half, and it barely even does anything with the premise of Clark Kent being the police commissioner. That would have been a fun thing to see. Okay, so that is it from Action Comics number 37, Clark Kent, Police Commissioner. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Detective Comics Batman story, or one of the stories in the main Batman comic that's just called Batman. And until next time, let us ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? Also, why make him police commissioner and do nothing with that? Okay, have a great day.